Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video for The Walking Dead Season 10. In this one, we're going to give our thoughts on Michonne or danai Gurira's contract with The Walking Dead ending after Season 9, whether or not we think she will return for Season 10. Alright, man, so definitely wanted to go ahead and give our thoughts on this one because it is pretty big news for The Walking Dead. Now, this is not really a new thing. I mean, we've been hearing about this for, I want to say, like a year or so, but I didn't know that, or at least I hadn't thought of recently, that Season 9's end was when Michonne's contract actually ended, when danai Gurira's contract actually ended for The Walking Dead. I wonder if she signed that in Season 3, or if there was like an extension or something she re-signed later on. But that's a while, and so finally the time has come. Similarly with what happened last year with Andrew Lincoln. Andrew Lincoln's contract ran out at the end of Season 8, and then we saw him re-sign for a really good deal for him, lucrative deal, to come back for just a few episodes, and then basically he's gone, and they're going to do the movies, and so there's that. We know Norman Reedus has signed for several more years of The Walking Dead. Big contract. You know, personally, I'd say he's the lead character in The Walking Dead now. People are resistant to that idea. You can look at his ensemble if you want to, but I'd say if there is a forefront character, Daryl is it. Second to him, though, is probably Michonne. You could argue Carol, but I think Michonne is probably next in terms of, priority for the characters in The Walking Dead. So whether or not Maggie returns, again, we've given our thoughts on that recently for Season 10. We just don't know right now. We got to see how Whiskey Cavalier does first, and then we'll get an idea. And there have been some interviews to say as well that what they might do with her is if she can't return, like full time for most of the episodes, then maybe they would have Maggie return just for like a couple episodes or something. Like they just go on a trip for a few episodes. They see her, they see she's doing well, and then they leave and she's basically off screen for a while. That way, eventually, she could come back later on in the story if Lauren Cohen if her schedule allows for her to come back and she wants to come back in The Walking Dead in a few more seasons or something. So sort of like a half season, they touch in with her on some kind of travel journey type thing, and then they go back, so she just has to do like an episode or two, and then maybe a few scenes, like half an episode or something, and then she can go back and do Whiskey Cavalier if it gets a Season 2 or Season 3. So that's what's going on with them. So this is the next big one I want to say as far as the contracts ending go for The Walking Dead. So Michonne wrapping up her contract at the end of Season 9, so she's basically finished as of this time with filming The Walking Dead Season 9, of course, as they're done the season, because we're seeing these episodes roll through here. So, whether or not she's going to renegotiate, whether or not she's going to re-sign with AMC, definitely this is a tricky one for sure. This is like similarly with Andrew Lincoln, I want to say, same kind of category, because with her, she's had a lot of other opportunities come about as well, too. She's had some big roles in the Marvel movies, which have been absolutely gigantic. A lot of exposure. A lot of people know her. They've seen her in The Walking Dead, and now they've seen her in Black Panther. They've seen her in Avengers. And so, this is a big problem with The Walking Dead that they're going to face year after year with pretty much whatever remaining stars they have left is their value compared to when they started. I mean, they could go from being relatively an unknown actor or just kind of like somebody who's just looking for work, that type of deal, as a lot of the cast and crew was in The Walking Dead, I would think. Not saying necessarily they were paycheck to paycheck, but, in a lot of ways, like an actor or actress, they'll get a role for a while, they'll have a TV series or a movie, and then they might not get another role for a year or two, or it might take a while to find something else, and that's just kind of the way the business works. Not everybody is booked solid in demand, movie after movie after movie. It doesn't work that way for everybody. A lot of them have to do, maybe some low-budget TV shows and stuff like this, and they can do okay, but a lot of them, the old struggling actor type of idea. So for danai Gurira, when she started out, obviously her career is in a totally different place than where she started, and if AMC is going to want to re-sign her, it's going to cost something. Now, one thing I do think is interesting is, if you notice the timing, they just confirmed Season 10 of The Walking Dead literally the day after AMC premieres a week early for The Walking Dead Season 9's mid-season premiere, which I still haven't seen yet. I want to watch, but the videos with you guys take priority to me watching, so I'll watch it sometime this week. Thank you to those of you who have sent me the, your recorded your recorded versions of it. I appreciate it, right? It's cool. So eventually I'll watch it here and do a non-spoiler review with you guys. But basically, it sounds to me like AMC premiere was probably so successful, or so many people signed up for it to watch The Walking Dead a week early, that they were able to confirm that they're going to renew it the next day. Like, after they got all those signups on Sunday, they're like, Monday, okay, renew it for season 10. We're going to do a season 10. That's got to be how many that the timing can't be a mistake. It's got to be like, they had a lot of people sign up, so they said, oh yeah, let's do season 10, no problem. So, not that they weren't going to do it already, but they hadn't renewed it until just Monday this week. All right. So this one is pretty crazy. So here's what it says. Link will be in the description. Comicbook.com. The Walking Dead may lose one of its top stars in season 10, according to recent reports. Gurira's contract is scheduled to have run its course with season 9's finale, while the AMC series did not take steps in terms of the show's narrative toward Gurira not returning to her role as Michonne with the coming episodes. A deal has not been reached to bring her back for the recently announced 10th season. Comicbook.com had previously reported on After the Dead, I don't know what that is, recap show probably, that Gurira's contract expired with season 9, but a new report details question marks around her future. So then it goes, when asked by comicbook.com if Gurira shared her co-star and new number one on the call sheet, Norman Reedus' outlook on wanting to be with The Walking Dead until its final episode, the actress chose to reserve her comments, so she didn't answer. Says, quote, Danai Gurira, meanwhile, was in prolonged negotiations with AMC that were further complicated by her status as a breakout actress with hits under her belt, including Black Panther. THR reports it's unclear if she has signed a new deal to return. AMC did not immediately respond to the Hollywood Reporter's request for comment about Gurira's status for season 10. I'll reserve my thoughts on that one for now, Gurira said in September. But of course, all things ultimately wound up. It'll be really hard. This will be like the day it happens. Whenever it is for me, this is family. I've grown as a human being, as a professional. I've got family and friends here that I will have for the rest of my life, which is a beautiful thing. That almost sounds, I'm speaking now myself, right, out of quotes. That almost sounds like she's not coming back, right? So, just there it is. Of course, getting Gurira to return to The Walking Dead Season 10 might be more difficult than it sounds. The actress has a rising price tag as she finds success and popularity in Marvel films, which included Avengers Infinity War and expected appearances in Avengers Endgame. The Walking Dead, however, is showing no signs of slowing down despite major exits such as Andrew Lincoln in the current season. Given the investment in Rick and Michonne's relationship, it seems quite important for the series to keep Gurira around in order to fulfill a reunion between two fan-favorite characters somewhere down the line. Okay, so well said by comicbook.com. Check out the link. You guys can read it through yourselves. So that's basically what it entails as far as the details right now. So I don't know how much negotiation they would have already done with her at this point, because I remember last year it wasn't until we got close to kind of filming time, which was like May or April, May, June-ish, that we kind of found out about Andrew Lincoln re-signing, but only re-signing for a select amount, right? With Danai Gurira, of course, for Season 10, now that we know Season 10 is going to go forward, we'll have to see, how much they do with regards to the negotiations and whether or not it's going to be feasible, whether or not it makes sense for her to stay, or if it doesn't make sense for her to leave too. Now, here's what I would say about this. This is, okay, I don't have any inside information as far as this. I don't know anything about, whether or not she's going to stay or not. If I had to lean, I'd lean probably towards right now, probably not. But, we'll see. It is very important, I think, for the story, especially since Carl's not there, because they killed Carl, right? So we all know this. But because they did that, you have Judith, you have RJ, and you have Michonne as basically, the representatives of the Grimes family. It's not much in the way going forward, right? So there's not much there, right? That's not a lot. If you lose Michonne, then you have RJ, who's too young really to do that much with. You have Judith, who's also very young and probably also too young well, you can do some stuff with Judith, but you can't do that much with RJ right now. They've used Judith a little bit. She's had a few scenes, that kind of deal, and it's been okay. But she is still very young as well too, right? So that would be very tricky. Now, also, there's the question of whether or not Michonne and Rick would ever be reunited again, which everybody wants to see in terms of a nice story. In terms of having a nice story, you'd want her to be there. So it makes sense as far as that goes. As far as can AMC keep handing out big contracts to people to keep them staying, to keep the people that, started in the series to stay in the series compared to movies, they probably can't compared to movie type of pay. Now, also, in addition to that, you have both Lauren Cohen, who's left, and Andrew Lincoln, who left. Wicked cat fight outside. Had to break it up. Okay, so now we don't have that going. As I was saying, all right, so with regards to Michonne, okay, so the psychology of it basically is this. This is what I think, right? All right, so because I would lean towards her probably not coming back. And this is why. Mainly it's because, and I could be wrong, and I hope I'm totally wrong, because I hope she does come back, and I hope that she does, re-sign. Because RJ and Judith, they kind of need her to be there, I think, in order for their storylines to work. It just becomes kind of a mess. If everybody just abandons ship and just leaves, it's just like a mess. It's like, is anybody going to stay? I know Norman Reedus and, so Carol and Daryl are staying. We know that. They've signed a few-year deal, but it's like, it just gets this abandoned ship mentality. It's like, everybody's leaving now. And that's kind of sad to see, and that's not what I want to see happen to the Walking Dead TV series, where it just implodes because nobody wants to do it, right? Like nobody wants to say a victim of its own success, right? So with her, the thing is that because Andrew Lincoln left, and my understanding from interviews I've seen over the years is that he was kind of like a leader on set for basically everybody. That he was a leader on the show, and not just the fact that he played Rick, but he was actually an active leader and an active person that was there to set an example for the whole cast in the show. That based on what Norman Reedus has said in interviews and what other people have said, about him and his work on the show, especially when he left there too. We got an understanding that he was playing Rick, yes, but he was also, one of your alpha leader-esque type of people in terms of a worker working on the show to create the best show that they could, right? So when you have kind of a leader who leaves, okay, a lot of times under certain set of circumstances, like that is what happened last year, a lot of times it, will other people that are working with them and kind of look up to them or whatever, as she may have. And I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't work. I'm not an actor. I don't work in The Walking Dead. I'm just saying what I've seen in interviews. A lot of times people tend to follow the leader, right? You heard the term, follow the leader, right? So when you have, it's top down really, when you have someone who people look up to and they view as maybe a role model or somebody who's really, really good at what they do and really smart and everything, and they admire that person a lot, and then that person leaves, you do kind of get an abandoned ship mentality where it's like, is everybody going to leave, right? Is JDM going to leave? Like, what's going to happen? So as with him leaving, you need new people to come in and kind of step up as leaders in the series and kind of do their thing. So the big question here is whether or not, danai Gurira is going to see that as an opportunity to be a leader on the series and to lead others, or whether she's going to kind of follow in a similar type of path as Andrew Lincoln did and leave, now that when the getting's good, leave when it makes sense for her to do so. So we'll see how the whole contract negotiation thing goes, man. I would really like to see Michonne back in The Walking Dead. It gets pretty tough when you start to see so many people leave like that, and it's like, damn, dude, because already with The Walking Dead, you have all the character deaths each season that are mixed in, right? So, you have to have certain characters leave to have your season 7 premiere episodes and to have your prison battle episodes and stuff like that. You have to have the governor get killed off eventually. You have to have Glenn. You have to mix in these big deaths, or Jesus most recently. And you have to have that, right, as part of the series. But then in addition to having to have some big deaths here and there, now you're having people leave of their own volition because they're getting other opportunities because the show became so popular and so many people know who they are now and have seen what they can do. And now they can go out and get, other TV series or movies or whatever to be able to do. So long story short, I'm leaning towards her probably not resigning, but I really hope I'm wrong. And I really hope she'll kind of maybe decide that, she can be a leader on the series in a similar kind of way, and she will hopefully stay on, and she'll continue on as Michonne the Walking Dead, because damn, dude, they need it. She leaves too in season 10. It's gonna be like, oh my god, man, everybody's gone. What am I doing still watching this? No one else wants to do it. You get that feeling because you're like, why am I watching and doing all this when it's like nobody wants to be a part of it anymore? You just get that sense that it's like the show that nobody wants to work on anymore. Nobody wants to continue with, and I don't want to get that sense of the show and for that to be what it looks like. But can you guys imagine next year if Maggie didn't return and danai Gurira was gone as Michonne, or they do like a similar thing with Rick where she signs for 5 episodes and then she's gone for good, and you basically have Daryl and Carol as like, man, as like that's it, and I appreciate that they're going to stay and that they're going to go all the way to the end. I appreciate Norman Reedus saying he's going to do that. That's awesome, man. But it would really definitely help to have at least a few other people too that will follow their lead and do what they've set as a standard to do, and what they're doing in a similar kind of way. But everyone's negotiation's different. And AMC might be willing to spend some to get certain people, make it worth their while, and give them a good deal versus doing other shows and movies and stuff. And other people maybe necessarily might not get that, just depending. And it brings into question, how many people can they give out a big contract to for The Walking Dead and still have it make sense for them? Okay, and then just a couple comments for today. Zeki Nomanoglu said, hey Trev, danai Gurira's contract ran out in season 9, and there are rumors AMC and danai have not agreed to a solution. Your thoughts? So that was it basically. I don't know if really it's that pressing right now that they haven't agreed yet, because the show doesn't start filming for a few months still yet, and I remember those negotiations were going to the last minute. Sometimes they can pull leverage, right? It can be leverage that the network needs to get a deal done before the season starts. So you might want to leave it to the end. Your agent might want to leave it to the end to get leverage, to press them to give you a good deal, to wait till the last minute, because otherwise it's like, it puts more pressure on them to get it done sooner, and it makes it a nightmare for Angela Kang and the writers to have to figure out what they're going to do. They have to write in if conditional statements when they're writing, like if this person signs, then we'll do this with the story. If that person signs, then we'll do that with the story. If they don't, we'll do this way. They have to have different streams going depending on what happens in real life. Crazy stuff. Michonne's mom says, hey Trav, do you think it's odd that as big as Michonne, or as big as he is, Michonne keeps carrying RJ? Are they setting up for Michonne and RJ to get the Lori and Judith death? So the whole, people still kind of in rejection of the RJ thing. I think it's because he never existed in the comics, and maybe that has to do with it. I don't know, but there was the theory at first that RJ was an illusion, which at first is like, then no, it wasn't. So that's what it is. Do I think that there's anything behind it right now? Well, I don't think they're going to be killing either one off. Let's put it that way right now. No, and hopefully, unless they have to, right? But right now, no, I wouldn't think so. And the last one for today will be from James Anderson, who says, will Rosita make it to season 10? I think yes. I think she will. And we'll do that in death predictions soon, which I want to do, but I haven't had time to do. So I'll get to that soon with you guys. And let me know how you guys are feeling, man. Leave a comment below. Will Michonne re-sign for The Walking Dead? What do you guys think? Where are you at with this? Do your predictions. Will she come back or not? Is it abandoned ship? Is it going to stay on in it to win it till the end, like Daryl? I don't know. We'll see. If you guys liked the video, please thumb it up below, share, favorite, subscribe if you're new at the bottom left, and thank you guys for all your support. And I'll see you guys again soon for another video. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.